Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, October 20th, 2016. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. The new academic year started today for 120,000 students all around Albania. The Minister of Education and Tirana's University Rector wished students a successful year. The academic year started in a novel way with the implementation of the higher education reform. The implementation of the new reform caused a great deal of political debate and confusion among students. There are 4,000 openings in public universities, and only the University of Economy has 500 slots. The University of Medicine has only 28 openings after the College of Dentistry's 67 and the College of Pharmacy's 79 slots. Meanwhile, no one has registered at 3 colleges, the Laboratory Technique, Imaging, or Speech Therapy. Some students say that they have registered in private universities because they were not accepted in either admittance phase, and they were afraid of being left out of university. Registrations for students were postponed until October 27th in order to give students time to register once the second phase winners were declared. The starting of the university school year sparked debates in today's plenary session. The opposition MPs exchanged accusations with the Prime Minister. They accused the government of leaving vacancies in public universities on purpose so that the students would register in private universities, condemning this as a corrupt and well-organized scheme. The former Assembly Speaker declared that the Prime Minister should resign. In response to the accusations, the Prime Minister declared that this is the first time students enter into universities based on merit, and accused the opposition of having turned the universities into corporations for profit. The Prime Minister defended the new admission schema and added that the opposition is only causing panic with the students. The opposition should not create panic in students. University openings will all be filled. The radical change will be seen in a few days. The Democratic Party's alibi that the system favors the private will fall. We have a system based on merit. Everything will have finished by October 27th. 22,000 students have applied to universities. 15,922 students started university today. 4,143 students are registered in private universities. We support private universities that implement the law. We are monitoring private universities, declared Prime Minister Rama. The Minister of Interior commented today on cannabis cultivation, declaring that harsher punishment is needed for all those who hold, cultivate, or traffic narcotics. The minister also declared that immediate investigation of wealth is needed for all cases of cannabis cultivation in high quantity. The Minister of Interior thinks that these investigations will be effective in the fight against cannabis and that he will make these proposals to the government. The minister added that the state police are in the second phase of their fight against drug trafficking and that state police officers and border police officers will be monitoring maritime and land borders. Emphasizing cooperation with partners, the Minister of Interior asked his Italian and Greek counterparts to set up joint offices in order to coordinate their actions against drug trafficking. We are working along with our partners to monitor the border. I have asked the Italian and Greek ministers to establish a special joint office in Albania, which will enable trilateral cooperation so that the partners can help us with tracking those who attempt to traffic narcotics through the borders, especially through the maritime border. We have received a positive response from our Italian partners, and I hope we have the same response from our Greek partners, the minister said. The Minister of Interior responded to the Minister of Justice's proposal to engage the military in the fight against cannabis. He considered the Minister of Justice's proposal to be incorrect, as did the Minister of Defense, but made with good intentions. The Minister of Defense stated that the military is engaged only in emergency cases. The Democratic Party chairman held a meeting today with the Democratic Party's leading structures in Administrative Unit Number 7. where he declared again that free elections cannot be guaranteed with Edi Rama in power, and continued to accuse the Prime Minister of being connected to crime. However, the DP chairman also admitted that the Democrats do share blame in the current political system. To the DP chairman, the current electoral system guarantees the inclusion of criminals in parliament. He gave assurance that he will end this system, adding that this can be possible for the upcoming elections. Currently, we have a political system for which we also have a share in the blame. We had the idea that the current electoral system would remove the criminals. We will review all the opportunities to end this system. We are focused on free and honest elections, said the Democratic Party chairman. The International Monetary Fund mission arrived in Tirana today to finalize negotiations with the Albanian government regarding the fiscal package, the 2017 budget, and partial deletion of obligations for businesses. It is learned that a new agreement will also be discussed between Albania and the International Monetary Fund as Albania concludes its current agreement with the IMF in February. The Albanian government has already publicized the salary increases for police officers at 17% and for teachers at 10%. An increase of pensions by 3% is also being rumored. The mission held its first meeting with the governor of the Bank of Albania and is expected to meet with the Minister of Finance and experts from the Ministry of Finance and Economy. The chief of the mission is Anita Tuladar, who will stay in Albania for 2 weeks. The chairman of the Parliamentary Commission of Productive Activity, Edward Shalsi, commented today on the president's decision to return the Chamber of Commerce law to Parliament for review. Mr. Shalsi considered the president's decision to be unmerited, and according to him, the president has not thoroughly reviewed the case, as the law was adopted based on a successful model. The law has been unanimously adopted in the commission after months of discussions. I was not surprised by the president's decision. He has not thoroughly reviewed the case and is not informed about the chambers of commerce. I do not know the president's arguments for returning the law to Parliament, but I am convinced that he is completely uninformed, declared Mr. Shalsi. Chairman Shalsi declared that the law will bring a successful model to all businesses that need more services. This is an Austrian and German model, and we strongly believe that businesses need to be represented with dignity, and for this reason we chose a successful model, Mr. Shalsi added. Yesterday, the President of the Republic returned the law to Parliament for review, arguing that there is a hidden tax for businesses. During his visit to China, Assembly Speaker Ilir Mehta finalized important agreements in the agricultural sector. China will provide its assistance for irrigation, drainage, and flood prevention as the main problems Albania faces each year. China will provide assistance with technical and human resources to Albania in the field of agriculture, mostly for irrigation, drainage, and flood prevention. The Albanian Minister of Agriculture and the Minister of China Water Resources, Chen Li, signed a cooperation agreement in the presence of Assembly Speaker Mehta. The Assembly Speaker considers the experience of the Chinese in the fields of agriculture and water management as very helpful for Albania. During his visit to China, Mr. Mehta also held a meeting with Vice Chairwoman of the China Association for International Friendly Relations, Ms. Deng Rong. Ms. Deng Rong is also the daughter of Deng Xiaoping, the leader of the famous and great reformer of China, who paved the way for foreign investments in the world market and encouraged private competition. The Assembly Speaker was also received by his Chinese counterpart, Zhang Daizhong. During this meeting, Mr. Mehta praised friendly traditional relations with China. This visit will serve to intensify relations with China. Parliamentary cooperation will intensify our relations. Investments in agriculture, tourism, and infrastructure are welcome, declared the Assembly Speaker. Meanwhile, the Chinese Assembly Speaker expressed his support for Albania and vowed to urge Chinese companies to invest in Albania. At the end of the visit, Mr. Mehta invited his Chinese counterpart to visit Albania. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.